You get what you deserve, not what you want. You guys, holy, seriously, this shit has to stop. We have to, like, there's people that are getting canceled, right? But why aren't we canceling this entitlement culture? You know, we, this, our economy, our society believes that they should get a reward just for showing up. One of the biggest, like, one of the biggest lies we were ever told was that half the battle is showing up. Half the battle is not just showing up. I mean, half the battle is showing up when shit sucks. And then the other half of the battle is giving your best. Like, many of you guys are new to the channel, okay? Some of you guys are OGs, but my story, I came from a small town of 3. I was born, my first 2 years of my life, I lived in a trailer. My parents raised me for the first 2 years of my life in a trailer. Then I went to a small town of about 300 people. My parents continued to improve. They went from a little tiny house, from the trailer, to a little tiny single family home. And they upgraded that home. And then they bought their first home. They kept improving. And that's what I saw when I was a kid. And I didn't have a big dream when I was a kid, but I went from being brought up in a trailer to being I went to a community college right out of high school. I dropped out. I was a college dropout. Scored horribly on my SATs. And I was a fucking quitter, man. I was a quitter. I went from trailer and quitter to 1%er. I joined the military. After a year and a half, I decided to switch from enlisted to officer, and then I became a 75th Army Ranger. And then I became an infantry commander. I invested 15 years of my life into the military, and the biggest thing that the military did for me, which it for, the opportunity was there for everybody, but it changed my mindset. It got me around high caliber people. And you don't need the military to get around high caliber people. And matter of fact, out of 15 years in the military, 20% of that time I was around exceptional people. The other 80% I was around the status quo. So don't get this idea, don't romanticize that you're going to jump into the military and there's going to be all these exceptional people. No. When a winner decides to become a winner, they find their way around top people and winners. And that's what happened to me. And that's why I did this show, is because I went from trailer to frickin' college dropout to 75th Ranger, top 1%, and then successful entrepreneur. Now I coach high-level people. I coach 6, 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs, and I help them achieve success in their businesses and their lives. So how did I go from all that? And that's the purpose of this channel, is to teach you guys how to make the jump, how to go from quitter to winner. How to go from Toyota Celica to Lamborghini Urus. How to go from trailer to a home right near the beach. Guys, the purpose of this video is that you have been lied to about what it takes to win. And I'm here to set that straight, and I'm here to remind you guys that understand how this works, of what it really fucking takes. Okay? You do not get what you want in life. You get what you deserve. Okay? When I was coming through the military, one of the schools that I went to was called Air Assault School, right? Air Assault School was where you learn how to rappel out of helicopters. I was an enlisted soldier when I went through. I was not prepared for Air Assault School when the opportunity landed on my lap. I was an E4, might have been E5 in the military if I remember right. Yeah, I was an E5 sergeant, gotten back from Iraq, had gotten out of the field after a training exercise. My platoon sergeant came into the room and he said, "Hey, we have some spots for Air Assault School. Sullivan, you want to go?" I was like, "Shit, when is it? Let's go." I said yes, and then I asked him when was it. He said it's Monday. This was on a Friday. I gulped, I packed my shit, and then he found a way to help me get into the school on that following Monday. Part point is that I went to that school and I showed up and I had a little bit of that entitlement mentality. I went to Air Assault school and I underestimated how difficult some of the academics were going to be. There was going to be a lot of memorization, a lot of nomenclatures that you're going to have to memorize. You're going to have to, study sling load operations. In other words, you have to study the how much an aircraft could carry, how to hook up certain equipment to that aircraft, like cargo nets and other supplies. So I'm an E5. I go to this school and I just I'm like, I just got to focus on the physical. Military schools aren't really meant to make you fail. They're meant to get you through. So I go there and I half-ass my studying. Well, I take one of the Air Assault tests, the written academic tests, where we study and we memorize all the nomenclature for the aircraft. And I fail. Complete embarrassment. I was so disappointed, so pissed off, so angry at myself. And I started lashing out at everybody else. And I was also embarrassed because here I was, a guy, I had gotten some wins while I was in the military. I started getting that momentum. You guys have all been there before. After being a quitter, I got some wins in the military. Went through basic training, AIT, deployment, came back, got promoted. I got some swag, I'm feeling good. I go to Air Assault school. Boom, fail. Blow to my ego. But I had to take a pause and I had to look and I had to ask myself, why the hell didn't I pass? Was I stupid? Because that was my initial thought. No, I wasn't stupid. I just didn't prepare. I showed up with entitlement. I said, if I go to do this military school, I'll just be able to check the block and pass the test. Nah, motherfucker. Life does not work like that. You don't just show up and pass the test and get the success that you want. You get in life what you deserve. And when I didn't prepare for that test, I failed. So that's what I deserved. Showing up was not half the battle. Showing up when I didn't want to was half the battle. In other words, I should have studied when I didn't want to. That was half the battle. Now, what ended up happening is they actually gave you 2 shots for that test, and I ended up retaking the test and studied my ass off for it and barely passed it. I was a very nervous person when it came to test taking, and so when the second time came around, I was prepared, but I was nervous, so my retention wasn't there. My comprehension wasn't there. And point being is I passed. And then I ended up passing Air Assault school and went on to do other military schools. Point is of this whole story, guys, is in life you're going to get what you deserve, not what you want. Real quick, on the very last couple of days of Air Assault school, you got to do a 12-mile ruck march. I was in my room. So the Air Assault school had came to our military installation. So I was sleeping back at my house. I just had to go to the school for the course. Well, the power went out. My alarm clock was plugged into the wall. And when the power went out, the alarm clock got shut off. My alarm didn't go off. And I woke up. I had gone to sleep that night at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I was supposed to wake back up at 2 o'clock in the morning to basically get there by 3. And I woke up at 2:50 and I had to be there by 3. And we were supposed to depart by 3:15. The starting point where we were loading up on the buses was about a 30-minute drive normally from my house. So when I woke up, I freaked the fuck out that I was going to be late. 2:50, I hadn't shaved. Luckily, my bag was packed from the night before. I scramble, I grab all my shit. I should do a quick dry shave. I jump in the car. I might even take my razor into the car if I remember right. No, I did it right there. I shaved real quick, jumped in the car, grabbed my ruck, or had my ruck in there, and it took off. And I sped all the way through the installation. That 30-minute drive took me about 7 minutes. I was in a 350Z that I had bought just after I got back from that deployment. As I came walking up, the instructors, they were the last person had already gotten on the bus, and then I come rolling up, skirt, boom, park my car, get out, run over there with my ruck. I'm here. They just shook their head and laughed. Man, you almost didn't make it. And if I wouldn't have made that movement, I wasn't going to make the 12-mile ruck march, and I would have been dropped from Air Assault school. And I would have deserved it. In life, guys, every single one of us is not going to get what we want. We are going to get what we deserve. And a lot of you guys, you want to be more mentally tough. You want more success. You want higher levels of happiness, fulfillment. You're not going to get any of that shit just by showing up. Okay? I wish somebody would have told me this a long time ago when I was coming up. And it's a great reminder for all of you guys that know it. Business owners, military high achievers, working professionals. You guys, get this entitlement out of your head. Entitlement is destroying your damn success. Let's cancel the entitlement culture. In life, half the battle is not showing up. Half the battle is showing up when shit sucks. Remember that. I love you guys, and that's today's message. You don't get what you want, you get what you deserve, and go fucking earn it. Conquer all.